Always great talking to my next guest because we can talk some golf along with some fighting. It's one of the benefits of interviewing Dustin Jacoby, who's joining me here now. He's got a big fight against Azamat Murzakanov, UFC Fight Night, April 15th, right around the corner. Dustin, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on the show. I see you're dressed, ready to hit the golf course. I'm a little jealous, man. It was my birthday yesterday, and we got a little bit of snow here in Denver, so I wasn't able to get out on the course, but got a tee time for Saturday. It'll be warming up, and looking forward to getting out.
There you go. Well, happy belated birthday. What did you get up to?
Thanks, man. Not too much, man. I'm in the middle of camp right now, towards the end of camp, rather, and pretty focused on the fight. So my wife and I went out to a nice Italian restaurant. That was about it. Had a good dinner, and we were in bed early.
Let's talk quickly about that last fight, man. I went back on MMAdecisions.com. So this is the website where the media can submit their scorecards for every fight. And of course, you fought Khalil Roundtree, ended up losing a decision there. 15 media members scored the fight for you. 2 scored it for Khalil Roundtree. I know losses suck, but does that soften the blow a little bit just with what happened there?
That one really did hurt, man. I thought I did enough to win. I went up to Khalil after the fight, shook his hand, told him good fight. And just from one man to another, you could tell he looked defeated. And I had thought I had won. And I think we were both surprised when he had his hands raised. And that's that's not taking anything away from Khalil. He was a great opponent. It was a very tough fight. It was a close fight. He was a very worthy opponent. He's a good fighter. I just thought that I did more, man. I thought that, the thing that hurts the most is one of the judges had him winning round 2.
Yeah,
and
I saw
round
that.
2 was hands down my strongest round.
Mhm.
And, I thought I won the first 2 rounds. You can, maybe give him the third. But in the overall fight, man to man, look him in the eye, I think we both know who won that fight. And, the UFC had gave me a new contract as if I had won. And if you look at the rankings, they've got the top 10, and they have Khalil and I both at number 13, and then Azamat, my opponent, next Saturday at number 15. So I think in the UFC's eyes, they don't believe that I lost that fight, but three of the judges that night did. But we just have to move on. You can't. I can't continue going forward if I'm hung up on the past, and I'm over that fight. Azamat Murzakanov has my full attention, and that's who we got next.
And you just mentioned something briefly there. You got a new contract. How many fights is it for?
I did. I re-upped my contract. It's 4 fights, and
Awesome.
again, yeah, they took care of me as if I won my last fight. Certainly not lose. So I'm thankful for that. I'm happy for that. I'm excited to go get this new contract underway.
Is this contract number 2 since you've come back, or is this contract number 3? My math, I didn't do well in math. That's why I'm doing
Since
this.
I've come back, 1, 2. This is number 3.
Wow, man. Like, have you been able to kind of look back? Like, we all know the story with you. You had the UFC, you entered the UFC very young, and then you went off to do kickboxing, and then you came back. Like, to have your 3rd contract now, like, have you been able to enjoy that? A lot of fighters, like, don't get even a 2nd contract.
I know, man. No, I'm very appreciative. And it does. Looking back, man, it's been a lot of hard work. And I think I appreciate it even more now with my age and a little more mature, much more mature than I was when I signed my first deal, 12, 13 years ago, whatever that was. So, I'm very thankful. And there's been a lot of hard work that's been put into that. But again, we're just getting started, man. I'm really trying to break that top 10 this year and, breeze through this contract and re-up again.
And no easy fights at 205. You mentioned it there. Murzakanov, undefeated. That's always a little bit fun, getting a hand a guy, potentially his first loss. How are you looking at this fight stylistically?
Yeah, he's a very tough opponent. He has my full attention. He's 12-0, 9 knockouts, has done well in the UFC. And it's going to be a tough fight. I think that I have some advantages over him as far as the experience goes, as far as the height and reach go. And I'm a stand-up fighter as well. I think he'll try to test me a little bit. But he's also a guy that wears down, slows down a little bit, kind of has a little bit of a cardio issue. He's going to bring the fight. There's no doubt about it. He's going to be one hell of a competitor the first couple rounds. I just got to be able to weather that storm and use my strengths, use what I'm good at and to my advantage, and may the best man win.
Now, I heard through the grapevine, and I don't know if this is public, hope I'm not getting anyone in trouble. I heard that Anthony Smith is back training with you guys. How much of an asset is that? Because you guys have been training together for years, and he's obviously one of the big bodies in the gym, and he's got a fight coming up against Johnny Walker.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's great to have Anthony back in the gym, and, he's rededicated himself, recommitted himself, and he's looking great, man. 5 weeks in of a strict training regimen. The guy's looking really lean, and he's a force to reckon with, man. He's such a good guy on the ground. He's good on his feet. He's good everywhere, and he has a ton of experience. So it's good to get him back in the training room. We have David Taylor in town this week, uh, just going helping us out, sharing his knowledge, doing work in the wrestling room, and it's been great to have him around. And we've got Rob Wilkinson.
Right, Mr. PFL, man, he's
Mr.
been looking good.
PFL, man, he's another guy that he's just a big dude. And he's a strong guy, and he's a no bullshit type of guy. He shows up, he works hard, he gets it done, and he goes about his business, man. I really do love that guy, and he gives me a great look every day as well. So we've got a great room of big guys. Cody Brundage fights a couple weeks after me, and yeah, excited for everybody that's preparing and getting ready right now.
And a lot of guys coming through your gym. I know it didn't work out for him, but Julian Marquez, I know I spoke to him, at UFC 285 in his last fight. I know a couple of those guys from that gym came over. It seems like everything is kind of firing on all cylinders at Factory X, and just a good variety is what I've been hearing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Julian Marquez is another guy that's new addition to the team, and he recently just fought. And he, injured his head a little bit, so he's been out, but he's been hit miss in there. But before, when he was getting ready for his fight, man, he brings a lot of momentum, a lot of strength, durability, and just another good guy to train with and pick his brain a little bit. And yeah, we're developing quite the team at Factory X. It's always done well, but the gym's really thriving right now. And that weekend, we have 13 guys fighting, 4 on the UFC card, and then 9 on a regional show here in Denver on that Saturday, with a lot of up and coming guys that will 100% be in the UFC. They're just young right now. And yeah, it's an exciting weekend for the team, busy weekend for Coach.
That's great. Your corner, Coach Mark Montoya, who else is going to be in the cage with you?
I'm going to have Cody Brundage and Randy Caruso, same as I've always had it here the past 4 or 5 fights. And, as they say, if it's not broken, don't fix it. We really mesh well. And again, we're going to have 4 guys on the card, so we're going to have all kinds of corners, teammates at the card next week, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be cool, man. Like I said, that Sunday we have 9 guys fighting on the regional scene. Not too often do you get a fight with a teammate or 2 teammates, let alone 3 other teammates, 4 fights on the UFC on the biggest stage. So that's pretty exciting. It's going to be a memorable night to share the octagon with my teammates, and yeah, we're looking forward to a great time.
I don't imagine this is hitting the scorecards. How's this one playing out?
Yeah, I think that I finish him, man. I think that he's going to wear, and I'm going to really use my reach, and I'm going to pepper him from the outside, and I just got to be patient and look for that one big shot that can take him out. And there's no doubt he's a tough competitor, man. I think my experience is on another level, and I'm really looking forward to that opportunity to hand him his first loss. I've done it before multiple times throughout my professional career, and it's going to be in Kansas City, man. I had my pro debut in Missouri, and I've got a lot of family and friends that are going to be there, and it's just going to be a great night, and I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm fired up. I'm in great shape, and it's going to be a great fight.
Big year for you, man. Like you mentioned the new contract, your ranked opponent, or your ranked fighter now, I should say. You're fighting another ranked guy. Could this be maybe the biggest year of your career? I know you kind of always say stuff like that, but I mean, just positionally, like you get a win here, you beat this undefeated guy. It could be big implications for you this year in the division. Do you kind of see it that way too?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at the division, there's a lot of top tier guys that are out for injury. I mean, it's wide open. And yeah, this win against an undefeated opponent, it catapults me into the top 10, I would think, or right there on the brink. Maybe getting a Ryan Spann fight, Volkan Ozdemir fight. Someone right there. It is set up for a big year, man, and I really have to take advantage of that. And it starts next Saturday by giving this undefeated up and coming prospect his first loss, and do it in a dominant way. To show that I'm ready for the top 10. And I'm really looking forward to the challenge and to this year, man. You never know what can happen. Like I said, the division's wide open, and if opportunity is there, I'm going to take it.
And I don't know if you guys have discussed this, because obviously the rankings are a little bit different, but have you and Anthony talked about, like, if the UFC tries to like, I know there's a lot of opponents. I doubt you guys would have to fight each other, but is that something you at least discussed at all?
For sure.
Just as you're making your move up?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about it as soon as I came back. He had, I was helping him out for the John Jones fight. And as soon as I came back, was at 205. I was like, dude, I'm going to get back in the UFC. He's like, I know you are. And we talked, man, and fighting each other. There's plenty other opponents out there. Yeah. It's a whole different conversation if it's for the title. If we're both fighting for a title, we'll shake hands and let's go make that money and put on for our family, man. But other than that, there's just no point to. We've been in this game for a long time. There's plenty of other opponents out there, and yeah, we're both working for that title shot. So unless it's for the title, there's that'll never happen.
Yep. And I was just remembering the time we met was for Anthony's fight against John in the MGM. Remember
Yep.
that? We talked
Yeah,
briefly,
I
and that's
remember that. Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, you're a big dude, man. Very, very big dude. Although I get accused of being really small, but I'm like 6 feet tall, just for people wondering. So people are always
Yeah.
surprised. They're like, wow, you look so much smaller on camera. So I got to do something about that on the angle. All right, let's talk some golf. I got my golf shirt on. I'm going golfing literally after this interview. How often have you been getting out? You mentioned you got some snow. Have you been out a little bit this year?
Yeah, so I started the year off. We took a vacation to Mexico. I was able to get out a couple times. Mexico golf super early. I think I shot in the triple digits one day. I shot in
Oh,
the
really?
90s another day. Yeah, the courses were super tough. And plus, you're at the ocean course. The wind's blowing. It's in
Right. Yeah.
January. You haven't played in a while. So, yeah. And then I was able to play a couple rounds out here. I got into the 70s. And then I had my guys' golf trip, which was out in Vegas. We played 4 different courses. It was a great time as usual. I didn't play my best golf. It was more upper 80s, but I was able to get out nonetheless. And then I'm playing Saturday with Caruso and Coach and his son, who plays on the Chatfield golf team in high school, and go out there and try to beat those guys up on Saturday.
That's great. What's the strongest part of your game right now? Like, I know it always varies, right? Like sometimes you'll be doing well in one area and then like your chipping sucks or something. Like,
Oh, I know.
is there
Yeah.
somewhere that's kind of firing on all cylinders for you right now?
Right now, nothing's really firing. I need to get out there. I couldn't make a putt when I was in Vegas I couldn't make a putt. Usually chipping and putting is a strong part of my game, and right now that is not the case. But it's early. Golf's all feel. I haven't been swinging, so we'll have to circle the wagons again this next interview, and we get a couple months down the road, and
We'll be talking about how you got your game back. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just switched over to a mallet putter. I think it's helping my putting a bit because I was using just a regular, Callaway one. But I like the mallet. I don't know, visually it's better for me, I think.
I'm a mallet putter as well. I actually
Okay,
use
well then
TaylorMade.
that's encouraging. Listen, I'm talking to a really great golfer over here.
You know what threw me off is my
Yeah.
grip. I needed to get a new grip, and I couldn't remember the size of the grip I got in my putter.
Mhm.
So I ended up getting this really fat grip. It was like a 5.0.
Okay.
And I putt, and actually I was putting decent 8 foot and in. The problem was I got to 15 foot and out, and I couldn't even come close. You lose a lot
Oh,
of
really?
feel.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Okay.
You lose a lot of feel the bigger the grip, which I didn't really take into consideration. So then I go back, I got this different grip. So I wasted $30 on that grip. I had to go buy a new grip for $30 to put it on, and I'm not convinced I like that grip. So I don't know. I just got to figure out my putting grip. And again, it just comes back with playing a little bit more and getting that feel.
Before we go, tell me you've been watching Full Swing on Netflix?
Oh, I'm done with it. Yeah, absolutely. That was phenomenal
That's
show.
document, like not even close. Like I'm a casual golfer, I'd say, as far as like, I know we got the Masters this weekend and stuff, but like, man, they did such a good job on that show. Like there's certain guys now that I didn't know much about that I'm going to be rooting for because of watching that show. I think the UFC should do something like that where they follow you guys around for a year. It'd be cool.
Dude, you're exactly right. I think so too. Who was your favorite golfer off the show?
I really liked, so there was the Hawaiian guy. I always forget his name.
Tony Finau?
Yeah. And he's got like the 6 kids, and I can relate a little bit because I don't have 6 kids. I got 2, but like, I like the fact that like, he's talking about how, he wishes he could dedicate more, but he's got the kids and he's bringing his kids with him. I really like that one. And then there was the guy that like, again, I got to look up the names. I can see the face, but there was the guy that like, he's a really good golfer, but like, he hasn't been able to like put it together. He's kind of like, what's the guy's name?
Something with a D, Dempsey or
yeah, something like that. Yeah. And he, I know someone's gonna write in the comments, be like, it's
Joel,
this guy,
Joel Damon.
Yeah. He, So like guys that like, you want to see him overcome sort of adversity and stuff, and that's like kind of the cool thing. Also, the guy, the English guy, the young kid, the guy who used to wear braces, I think he still does.
Fitzpatrick?
Yeah, he's like, you want to root for a guy. Yeah.
Fan. I'm not really a fan. I don't know what it is. I just haven't been a fan of him.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, really, really good show, and I can't wait for the next season. I was like, as soon as I saw this, I'm like, this is the best show ever. Like, I'm totally invested.
Man, I liked Tony Finau before that show. Absolutely love him now. He's my new favorite on tour since DJ Dustin Johnson's gone. But it'll be cool to see him back in action. And that's why I was a little bit late to this interview. I was tied up in the Masters, the par 3 contest. I was like, oh crap.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, I don't want to take up too much time for that. One other thing I'll just mention about that show. I thought Rory came across really well with not kind of banding the players together. Let's stay with the PGA. Let's not do live golf. Like I thought that was really like I knew about that, but I didn't know like that he kind of like put everyone together to kind of say, hey, we got to stick with this.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Rory's been a staple in the game for a long time. It's hard to not like Rory, so he's pretty cool.
And you're pretty cool too, man. I love doing these interviews. I appreciate it. We're looking forward to it. Next Saturday, UFC Fight Night. Anyone you want to thank before we get out of here? I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, man, just my family, my friends, my team at Factory X, my team at Iridium Sports Agency, Lando Performance, just everybody that's been in my corner. And we're going to go out there. We've been working hard, and we're going to go get another W for Team Heinyak and continue to climb that ladder and break into the top 10 this year.